Welcome back to TikiTalk podcast. We had not so thrilling weekend of Premier League fixtures. We've got a lot to talk about. There were a lot of big talking points. Some sprouting from my owner Todd Bowley in the week. RE North versus South. How do we actually feel on that? Sounds good? Good idea? Or is it, I mean, practicality, it doesn't work. Everyone will get injured or they'll be worried about injuries. But I think it would be good banter. It'd be good to watch.
I think as a neutral, or like even from anyone around the world, you'd be like, yeah, decent watch. Like you sort of want to see what it's like, but I think practically, I'm not sure how you'd implement that. You could arguably maybe there was talks about replacing the Community Shield and stuff, but you know, or have like a charity match. But I just feel like
I just don't think anyone will try. Everyone will be worried about getting injured. Coaches would probably tell people to pull out. Like I've heard apparently the All-Star game in the US is shit.
Oh yeah,
it raises money, but it is dead.
I watched the All-Star game and there's no defense. Like the reason why is that they have now a score limit, so it's like that's first that many points because before it's like there's no point really. Because they don't defend, they're like, I'm not going to like jump up and like get an injury or anything. So yeah, it'd be the same thing. Everyone would be pulling out tackles. It'd just be long shots galore.
So it's like a better version of Soccer Aid, basically.
Yeah. High skill Soccer Aid. And like, would it be a bit weird for them if they're playing with rival club players? You know, like a...
I know what you mean, but do you feel like the traditional sense of rivalry is just sort of dissipated a bit?
It's not.
Like,
it's not what it was.
I see England players. I see them getting on with players that I despise. I don't want them getting on with them. But that's the world.
Yeah, but I think it's different with England. But I feel like you could take maybe a Xhaka or a Carlson. They would just be like, they would just hate each other. You know what I mean? Well, I'm not saying they would make the team for him, but yeah.
I don't know who's voting in Xhaka and Richarlison into these.
I don't know Xhaka these days. Who knows?
To be fair. Well,
we'll get onto that.
On the topic of rivalry, something I did see at the weekend, which I really hated, and it made me quite sad. You guys know I appreciate City a lot. I really like watching them. Obviously, like in terms of high-level Premier League teams, they're up there with the best, and to watch, I say they are the best. But before the game, I don't know if you saw Rui Patricio and De Bruyne, and it seemed like he was sort of saying to De Bruyne, take it easy on me after last year when he bagged 4. And I sort of thought it's quite sad that teams are going into City now going, well, we've lost this game already. That's kind of attitude it felt like you were seeing. Like you'd never see that before. Where
I mean, I've heard like stories from like ex-player, United players, Arsenal players. Like Omri used to say, people used to ask for a shirt like during the game. You'd be like, well, I'm going to win this game. If they're like desperate for the shirt like before, or during it, you're like you're supposed to be stopping from scoring. And you're out here trying to go, can I have your shirt? So I mean, I think it has happened maybe a bit in the past, but it is a shame. I think now that we know that City are just that dominant team who are just walking past teams, they're in the tunnel going, we've won this.
Yeah, like there is this acceptance now that as much as you can appreciate them, like we are the Bundesliga. Like our league is done before a ball's kicked. You know who's winning the league. It's about okay, what's the top 4 looking like? What are the other teams looking like? And it's getting to the point where it's not boring to watch them by any means, but it's boring in sense of competition for who's winning the league.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is for me, for like City, I mean, I want to say that do Arsenal have a chance? No, let's be honest. We know City are gonna walk it at the end, but it's more just I think they've like other teams around the world need to win a CL just to really see how dominant they are. Like if you would like maybe in Italy and Spain, you see City, okay, they're winning the league, but you don't realise how good of a team they are, and I think they actually need to go win maybe 1 CL, maybe two.
They definitely do need to win it because they almost deserve that. I'd say in the last 3-4 years, you'd say they've been the best team in the world in that span.
But it makes our league look worse because it's like, okay, well, you're saying they're the best team in the world, but they just don't win it, and it's like
but Liverpool and Chelsea have won it in those times, so it also shows the strength of the Premier League in that sense.
Yeah, but they got semi-final. They've only got one final, only being one final. It's not. I don't know. It doesn't.
Yeah. Well, we spoke about it before, I think, didn't we? Said Pep just kind of loses his head slightly in Europe quite often. Does just mad stuff, and they've never quite made it. But yeah, I agree that the league is getting a little bit boring as a kind of whole spectacle in terms of.
Yeah, it's never felt so concrete that who's won the league this early on. Like even though you guys are top and Spurs are there, that it's not going to be the case like at the end of the season. They'll like we said, they usually start a bit slower, then they go on their little run where they win. Well, they go on a very big run where they win game after game after game. They haven't even done that.
They just need a couple of big injuries.
If KDB and Haaland both to go.
Yeah, and Pep.
And
Pep needs an injury. Once he goes, it will balance out a bit. But
sorry, go on. I was
going to say, speaking of Haaland, did you see that thing on Saturday when he was like running on the counter attack? And I don't know who was marking him. I think it might have been that Nunes guy.
Yeah,
and he just looked at him and just went no, and just completely swatted him off. And it was like the caption was like, "How do you actually defend against this guy?"
I know, and Dortmund struggled to do it as well midweek. That was a good goal.
Yeah.
Cancelo doing Cancelo things as well.
That finish was a joke.
Well, I thought everyone was going on nuts about the finish, and the finish is great. It's very Ibra. It felt to me. I know they were comparing it to the Cruyff one, but it is very Ibrahimovic in terms of that big guy stretching out. But it's also that Cancelo pass. Like you saw him do it with Sterling last season as well. He just got about unlock.
Yeah, no, he has. But I thought it was, for me, great pass. But I thought it was about the finish. I thought the finish was a joke. I mean, how you can get your foot up there and generate the power to hook it by, he's just mental.
Yeah,
I love watching it.
See, I was more of a pass because I was thinking to myself, like, how would you get the ball that like high in the air with that accuracy outside the foot? Like that's like almost like you're coming underneath
it's a recurring theme with him as well. I'm like,
and it's perfect.
Are you second to Quaresma, or maybe some would argue Modric?
I was going to say if top players can do that. You don't.
He's got to win the podium for the Trivela.
Yeah, I just don't think many people can do I think more people can do what Cancelo did than what Haaland did.
Yeah, that's probably a fair way to look at it. But yeah, he grabbed another goal in the Premier League. That's 11 now this season, which is. We said at the start of the season, if he does 15, he's done a good job. So he's on 11 going into the international break, which is very impressive.
He's predicted, I think, to get 4. Well, if he continues this way,
on course for 60 or something, wasn't it?
On FPL points, like 426 FPL points.
Yeah, he's a leave him as captain, sort of.
Yeah, he's set and forget. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but do you think will smash past that 32 record?
Yeah,
because he's got a World Cup. He's not even at the World Cup, so he gets a nice rest there. And you think you're going to fit in more. You'd think he would have been a slow starter initially, but he has absolutely no problem with any team he's playing, especially in their team.
I've got full confidence that he's going to break the record.
What do you think? Do you think he'll get 40 plus?
Yeah, I think I said a couple of weeks ago. I think 40.
Yeah, I actually am getting to the point where I'm just accepting of when are you going to break your own record? Like what record are you setting this season, and what's going to be the one after that?
Yeah, no, because I remember you said you think he was going to go through a bit of a dip. You still think he will?
Well, I the dip injury, I just don't know. Has he ever had a full season
I reckon
not
a dip
injured?
for him is like 3 and 4.
Yeah, that's what it seems. That's that relatively
It'll be interesting to see against. Well, they're facing United at is it home?
Yeah, it's at City. Yeah,
it will be interesting to see. Like that
would be a good test.
Better, it'll be a good test for like a big game like that. See what he does. But the thing is about him is he could just be 80 minutes and not a bit like Dortmund game. He was anonymous but he's just got a goal in him anywhere. You know, I remember they again talking about Omri. They used to say like you'd be like 1-0 down, everyone looked at Omri and be like, when are you going to score? And I think like that's the same thing with Haaland. It's like you could just be you could have the most quiet dead game, but he's just going to pop up at any moment and that's it. It's done.
Yeah, I think I saw him say his dream match is to have 5 touches and 5 goals. And I really appreciate that. He is just efficient. Is like the perfect word for him, and quite robotic in a sense.
It was a different type of finish though against Wolves.
Yeah,
like
outside the box. He doesn't score many outside the box.
Right foot as well. Like it was a little bit different.
He didn't strike it clean, but he still just went in.
He
just went in.
Yeah, I mean, he's just lethal. I mean, what can you say, really?
Yeah.
And then another player that was good for City, Grealish.
Yeah, he did, and he needed that.
You could tell from his celebration and stuff that that was a bit of a relief off his shoulders because he's had quite a lot. He said it himself. He's had quite a lot of stick particularly about his output and stuff. So it seemed like that was quite a big goal for him.
I feel like he said it as well last season after he scored the West Ham against West Ham away. He said he felt like he was relaxed and he could play his game. And I think maybe getting that goal early on, it made him go, okay, well, I can play my game and not be judged. And he did what he does best. He was driving at players.
Running at players, yeah,
and
exactly.
I think he was picking up the ball a bit in deep positions as well, and he wasn't so isolated on the wing, and like it was less predictable, Grealish, just cutting
playing
on the right,
safe, turning around, passing
back. So it was like much more like driving the ball. I mean, he almost got an assist for Haaland as well. So yeah, I mean, who doesn't like Grealish? He's a great guy.
Yeah, he's top bloke.
Yeah, it's a shame to see him underperform for a while.
He's not someone you want to see flop.
Yeah.
At Villa, it was easily one of the most fun players to watch in the league by some distance. And he just seems like a top bloke.
Yeah, you just want him to do well, and he's going to give a jokes interview, and everyone's like,
And he always seems to be one of those players that you think could do it.
Yeah, but he's got that bit of magic in him. That's what we love. But like for City, it was like there's no magic left. But
it felt kicked out of him.
But I'm glad because I think he was quite poor midweek actually. I thought in the Champions League, but I was glad.
But the game changed when Foden came.
And I was glad he was given another chance really to demonstrate. And I think that's what you need really, even if you play badly, to just keep getting minutes in and have that faith from the manager. But it would be quite Pep to just be like, nope, next game you're coming up, you're not starting.
Yeah, Pep does. He does love that rotation. But I guess the other talking point in that game, the red card. I just thought it was a red.
Yeah, no complaints.
I did see people complaining though.
What?
Yeah, I can't remember. It's some TalkSport guy, which kind of maybe sums it up, saying like
Was
it's
it
not
Von
red.
Hall?
It
It wasn't Gabby. Yeah, it
Yeah.
wasn't Gabby, was it?
No, it wasn't Dewsbury Hall.
Yeah, I'll pick Dewsbury Hall. I'm gonna go Dewsbury Hall.
Yeah, I saw some complaints about that, but no, I thought it was completely valid, to be honest. But the game was already tied up before that.
Well, apparently Collins waited for Grealish in the tunnel to apologise as well. Waited for 20 or 25 minutes after the game.
Nice bloke. We do
I like him.
Collins.
I do like.
Yeah,
I'm
we
a fan of Collins.
we
I was
do
a bit
like-
sad to see him. I gave him a spotlight a few weeks ago. Yeah, sad to see, but I think he's still got great potential in the future.
Yeah, but we did touch on possible title challengers, or not really challengers, who's just second, third. You guys played and made that Brentford game look very easy, which I was very impressed with. Brentford's not an easy place to go. Made Tony look very isolated. Thought Saliba dealt with him well with what he had to deal with. Had the game wrapped up at half time. Just was a stroll in the park, to be fair.
That's the most control I've seen.
I'd probably say it's your most impressive performance from my point of view, to be honest.
Yeah, it's the most control I've seen of us in a game since, well, I don't know, maybe like 2014 or 15, or something like crazy, because that was start to finish one of those games where there was no sweat. Like you almost
Game was
bored watching
done,
it. It was just like complete dominance. And you know, we talked, I think, a bit United before about how you sort of see exactly when they've got the ball, you know where the other person has to move. Like they're all sort of in sync. They're like, hey, he has the ball there, so let's move there. It's like sort of like rotational. Everything just is perfectly done. And we had that for parts of United, and then we let it go, and it all just like fell apart. But that was just full 90 minutes. Everyone knew what they were doing at all moments, and it was great to see, to be honest with you. And I think for me as well, like I've said I like this team. I thought, what did you think about the Gabriel tweet? I mean, personally for me, I love it.
Very small club.
I disagree,
I'm sorry.
though.
If Brentford are living in your head rent free for a whole year, that you feel the need to tweet that, it's quite we're a little club. We care about the little thing. It is. It's not. You're bigger. If you're aiming for what you're aiming for, you're bigger than talking about Brentford. Like you just are.
But I don't think it's about that.
I get it. You can see it's like shithouse, but I don't know. If Tony's been living in your head for a whole year that you feel the need to tweet that after winning, it's a bit like.
But I think it's the way.
Small time.
I just think it's the way Arteta is like all in their heads. Like, Arteta is like driving.
But Brentford have you that rattled?
I just think it's quite jokes. I don't really think it's that deep. I think you both think it's quite deep in opposite ways. I'm just in the middle. Like I just think it's just quite jokes. Like, I don't really care. Like
the young kid as well, Ethan Nwandri, he also tweeted the same thing.
Yeah. How he'd been 2 when that happened.
Mad.
That is nuts. Playing a 15-year-old coming on, and it was a good sign of respect to Prince Andrew in that as well. To be fair, in that sense, but it was just pretty mad. 15-year-old guy playing. What were we doing at 15? Not a lot.
I don't know. I can't actually remember, to be honest with you.
A bit of FIFA.
Yeah, a bit of, I was probably, actually, I was peak FIFA. FIFA 13, wasn't it?
Pro clubs and Ultimate Team.
Yeah, it was a pro clubs time, getting the afros out.
But the thing is, I think, we spoke about it before, but like, those sort of players, you never really, they're not even going to probably start in the team for another 4 years. Like, 19-year-old might get
so much pressure because you're that kid.
It was like Reece Oxford. Remember when he came and had he absolutely
bossed us at the Emirates. Yeah, I remember.
But like the thing is for me is like, as I say, ask you, if you come off the back of that going, I'm sick.
How do you not let that get to your head? If you're 15, you're nuts anyway. But like you are nuts. School, it's just full of nutters. It's full of crackheads, but they're all sober. But everyone's nuts.
Dicking about.
So
the
imagine
whole
being
time.
15 and you just come on.
School,
You've come on for Arsenal. Fans are chanting your name and everything. How are you supposed to stay level-headed?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's got to be like nigh on impossible at that age.
I know, but I think Arteta wouldn't have done it if he thought he wasn't that sort of character where he could handle that. Because I feel like he loved, like, we're talking about Saka, he got put into a bit of starlight, obviously, at a young age. But he always felt like he had the right attitude and groundedness. And I feel like Arteta has a good read on people. And I know it's probably near impossible if he thought this guy won't get to his head too much. If anything, it might give him a little taste and encourage him to push on. Maybe that's what his mentality is. But I agree. I mean,
I just don't know how. If I try and picture it, I just think at 15, how would I handle that?
You walk into school on a Tuesday and you're like, I'm a G.
I'm the fucking bollocks.
His Snapchat must be popping, honestly. Yeah,
Snapchat.
That's what they use, don't they, those kids?
I don't know. I'm not messaging many kids, to be honest, mate. I wouldn't know that.
Yeah, is that what they use?
Yeah, so it's what money.
But yeah, no, it would just be nuts. I don't even know how you'd cope with that. It's pretty mad. But Gabby, he did a dance in unison for Vinicius. I don't know if you saw that. I mean, it's so backwards. Like some of these, apparently there was a lot of like racial chants as well from Atletico fans yesterday in regards to this dancing thing. We spoke about it a few weeks ago actually in regards to Richarlison kind of taking the piss. And there does seem to be this demonising towards that sort of culture that, you know, showing a bit of flair, and it comes with a lot of the Brazilians doing their bit of samba, but it's very like a your dad.
Yeah, if you can't celebrate a goal like how you want to, then come on.
I know. And equally, like because I didn't think what Koke said was so bad in that saying, oh, if you're going to do that, we'll take you out. That's fine as well. That's football. Like there's nothing wrong with him doing that. But all this demonisation of doing a dance, it feels like it's really ramped up with Neymar. Like Neymar got booked as well for a celebration in the week, didn't he?
Yeah.
I don't really get it, all this hatred. It does feel racially stemmed, to be honest.
It is. Well, I think there was wasn't there a journalist where he said he mentioned something like, racially towards Vinicius and stuff like that. I think it's outrageous, to be honest with you. I just can't believe, like, you score. I mean, there's been so many celebrations in the park. Like, everyone, and also the dancing one, like, it's a great FIFA, so everyone loves that celebration, you know? I just don't understand. Yeah, I just think it's people just getting annoyed, you know. It's just jealousy. It's always that case.
Yeah, people like just getting pissed off and taking their anger out at someone or something.
Yeah.
They just do it to dancing footballers, which is a bit strange. But
it's very odd. But I watched a bit of the Real Atletico. It was Real just dominated Atletico. They're not the team of old. Atletico got a red card because, of course, they did. I mean, it wouldn't be a Madrid derby without it, would it?
Did you see it though? The actual red card.
Yeah.
It was never that second yellow. How that's a yellow card, I'll never understand. That's it's so like it's because they're Atletico and they're trying to get back in the game. Everything's a bit heated. This bloke's already got a yellow for kicking off. I'm just gonna send him off.
Yeah, it's a bit like the Griezmann thing where Griezmann started actually. That was weird to see.
Maybe
watching Griezmann on before the 60th minute was crazy.
Maybe that's one of his he gets like 5 games a season or something
just like
where
Real.
he can do it.
He can play Real, he can play Barca.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't even know if he play Barca because he's on loan technically, isn't he? Tchouaméni looks some player, to be honest. That's what I kind of took from that game.
Yeah, no, him and Camavinga for years to come are going to be absolutely class in that Real Madrid.
Valverde's a bit older than him, but every time I watch him as well, I'm like, this guy's
technically
ridiculous.
great. I saw a tweet about Camavinga.
They did that without Benzema. They strolled it as well.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, I saw a tweet of like Camavinga and Tchouaméni, and they were saying how it's like, they're going to do a masterclass. They're going to have him for 10 years and sell him on in their 30s to United for 70 million.
Yeah,
and I was like,
I saw that.
Nice. Yeah,
they time things perfectly, though, don't they? Like in that they have lost Casemiro, but Tchouaméni, you look at and you're like, oh wow. You could be better, and you're way younger anyway already. So
yeah, no, they're mad. They're gonna sign some class forward soon, I think. Benzema replacement, at the perfect time.
Which one will it be?
I wonder.
No, as in like genuinely, will it be the robot in a couple of years, or is it Mbappe a bit sooner? I would think Mbappe because it seems destiny.
Mbappe.
Yeah. But he's got 2 more years on this contract, Mbappe, before he moves.
It's his choice. He runs the club, doesn't he?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, it's funny actually when people just don't pass in the ball. How like they're like, whoa, like Hakimi had a chance in it, like in that game, and he fucking squared it, and he's like, yeah, he's just so scared. But just before we move on to anything else, I thought we talked about you touched on about Atletico. They're sort of not the same team. Simeone, the highest paid manager in the world. Is it time for him to move on, try something else? Or
I think.
Or is he just like the power? Is he like the Wenger of like, one of those,
You can't imagine an Atletico without Simeone.
He kind of is the club, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. Yeah,
like
his
Fergie.
team embodies him.
Yeah.
Like everything you see about Atletico is the coach.
Yeah.
Absolutely to a T. And a lot of players would want to work under him. I mean, players like João Felix, I kind of look at that as a weird move now, where I think the type of player you are, I don't really think you suit them. But look how much Trippier improved there. I think if you're a defender, going to Atletico Madrid is probably one of the best moves you could really have.
Yeah.
But yeah,
where else could you see him? That's Simeone.
I always saw him with us.
Yeah, I thought he was Chelsea.
He was very us.
Yeah.
Not so much now, obviously. Well, give it a year. But he always seemed very like that would be a club he would have suited. But maybe Italian football. I mean, his son's doing very well.
Yeah. It's
Juve.
Yeah.
He could see him at Juve.
Maybe Juve. Well, Allegri's definitely getting the boot soon. They lost to
no, but
they lost to Roadside.
Yeah, and that was the first time they'd ever won a game in Serie A.
Yeah.
The CEO did come out saying like,
it's a project, but I don't think the fans are behind that project. Put it that way.
It's weird actually. Allegri just not come back the same. I don't know what. I just that Juve just doesn't.
I think that league was just very weak for a long time.
But when they were
monopolising it. No, they had better players. But that was just a natural course. I mean. I wasn't a fan of Sarri. Sarri won it.
Yeah,
It
but
was
that
just,
was at the but they did get like CL finals under Allegri.
Yeah.
So I just say, I don't know, but the team's weaker.
Just look cooked.
But I do like Serie A as a league. Honestly, great league.
I think it's the best. This season for sure will be the most entertaining league in terms of unpredictability.
Yeah.
In terms of who is winning that league?
Yeah, because obviously we watched the Napoli.
We're very impressed with Napoli at the
Milan
moment.
game. Yeah, they're great, aren't they?
But even Milan looked good at times. Like it went against the run of play that second goal. We'll touch on that. So first goal. I mean, we've shouted him out before. Kvaratskhelia or Skelia.
You've been practicing that.
Yeah, I've been working on that one. Yeah, he is. I just love watching him. What he did for the pen, like it's a winger who's not. We're so used to, I feel like in the Premier League, there's not many wingers that just take people on the outside. It always seems to be a sort of a cut in, or they play it safely back. And I really enjoyed how he won that pen and just being like, yeah, fuck it, I'm just going to go on the outside of him. And he did that a bit against Liverpool as well. Just so direct. And yeah.
The funny one I didn't watch, the score was 2-1 Napoli, and it was San Siro. So yeah, pretty amazing result for Napoli.
Yeah, and we touched on that. It says Simeone's kids there. He's lovely header.
Yeah, lovely header.
Header. One that Giroud would have been proud of.
He seems like a bit of a poacher player, doesn't he?
Yeah.
It was similar to, that not similar, but he scored a sort of poacher's goal against Liverpool, didn't he?
Yeah.
Which was cool. And also, harking back to that, in that game, I think we didn't speak about it last week, but he had a Champions League tattoo. Did you see about this?
Yeah.
He's got the Champions League tattoo and he's had it since he was like 13 years old. And he said, I'm going to score in the Champions League one day. And then when he scored against Liverpool last week...
Is that why he cried?
That's and he kissed the tattoo,
right,
and that's why he went so mental. I forgot to mention that last week, so I thought I'd just mention it now.
It's a good fun fact.
But yeah, no, Napoli are impressive.
They are. They're very
Yeah,
impressive.
I mean, they did. Milan looked almost like the more dominant team, but I think Napoli just have that sort of counter. But I like Raspadori; he's like a great player.
Loboka's solid.
Yeah, Lobotka. 95.
I just can't believe this is the same Anguissa we watched in our league.
Oh, he just looks like...
He's improved tenfold, isn't he?
Yeah, he looks sort of that dominant player, like not Yaya-ish, but someone that's just rangy, long legs, spider legs, that kind of guy, but also skillful.
Progresses the ball really well.
Yeah. No, he's good. I like Lobotka with 95% passing completion rate. Crazy. Also, we're talking about like sixes. How you almost in every team needs a solid six nowadays. So you can like keep the ball, move things along. I mean, how long is he going to be there if he's continuing like that? That's such a prem signing.
Yeah,
somebody can, so many players need
George goes back there, we'll get him or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, yeah, that's a good. Yeah,
I don't know. It might happen. Who knows?
Yeah, because that's it's one of the rare positions now where there's such demand for it.
It's at the crux of every good team.
Yeah,
it's part of your spine, isn't it? It's just,
you need one.
But we were impressed with Kim. Kim was good.
Kim did like him. They were slacking. The commentators were seriously slacking off Koulibaly. It was making me laugh.
I feel like they just said he just started a bit badly with us.
No,
he sort of had a half and half.
They were just like, oh well. It's crazy how they're actually defending better without him. And then they were like, and then he's actually had a really bad start at Chelsea too. So I was like, wow, I was
getting
like,
the digs.
Just throwing in digs like poor Chelsea just sitting there. But I thought Kim last minute block as well. It's weird, but
the celebration after the block I really enjoyed. I was like, that's a proper defender. A defender who celebrates a block like a goal. You're like, I can get behind that.
Yeah, I'm not comparing him, but Socrates used to do that for Arsenal. Which he used to tackle people. He was shy, right? But he used to tackle people and just go mental. That's about all he was good for. Tackle celebration.
Marquinhos loves that as well, and Thiago Silva, he loved it. Them two loved it in CL's like big games doing that. But yeah, I love. Yeah, Kim looked good. To be fair, like they had. It's been a real transition for Napoli. I think we touched on it a couple of weeks ago.
Their recruitment this summer looks.
They lost a lot of a lot of their players like Mertens, and they've really brought in some like young, fresh blood who look good, and it's a great recruitment job. Yeah.
No, very good recruitment. But AC Milan, I don't think we're bad in the slightest.
I thought they're very good as well.
Ollie G, both of us have had this player at our club. Seems to be
4 and 5.
He has really aged like a fine wine, Ollie. I felt class. Like I really enjoyed the Ollie we got, and he was a great option and everything. And I'm looking at Milan thinking, wow, you're still starting. But he's just great.
I think every club, when they've had Ollie G, they've always loved him.
Yeah.
Like, he always done such a good job. Even for us, there were times when people kind of slated him.
Need more goals.
Yeah. Which was understandable, but also a bit unfair, because his link-up play was also so good. You think about that goal that Wilshere scored against Norwich just straight off the bat, and he's, like we said before, his goals compilation will be better than pretty much any player.
He's an all-timer in goal compilations.
All-timer. But yeah, I think whenever you have him at your club, any fan will think, what a top bloke. And like you say, he's still sticking in the back of the net even now, which is class to see.
Yeah, I think he's got 8 goal contributions in the last 7 games. So he's in a real good twilight.
I've got, I've been following Giroud since his Montpellier days. I met the geezer when he was playing for Montpellier. I've some interesting story of
they won the league with him, didn't they?
Yeah. But no, it was a great. Yeah, he was a great player then. Came up, I think he was still raw Arsenal. I think we didn't see his.
I think we got a better Giroud.
Yeah, it's almost.
We had this refined.
Yeah. He just didn't
polished.
have the same number of games for Chelsea.
He is an immense squad option.
Yeah,
he was perfect.
If he'd had the kind of role of importance that he had at Arsenal at Chelsea, but he probably would have scored way more.
Probably more
goals.
Yeah.
I also think impact player.
Well, him and when Hazard, it was only like I think it was 2 years or year and a half rather, where Hazard was at the club and Giroud was at the club. But whenever they played together, it was like you said with the Norwich Wilshere goal, similar.
Yeah, it was like bouncing
off him.
Yeah.
I remember Hazard actually saying he'd prefer to. He literally I want to play with Giroud. Yeah. But I do feel like we had the slightly. I think Wenger, gave him that sort of. He wasn't so much in the build-up play beforehand, and now he got a lot better at Arsenal at that. But yeah, I mean,
cool looking guy as well.
Cool looking guy.
Yeah, it was a good finish.
Do you remember I am something my forward? I look gorgeous. It was
I can't help that I'm so gorgeous. That was a ghost advert. I think that was like when I did the laces or something for some initiative. I can't remember what it was. But and you think about him in the World Cup for France in 2018.
Yeah.
They won the World Cup.
No goals.
He played every game.
There's a reason he starts.
I don't even think he had a shot on target.
No, doesn't need it.
No, but he still started every game, and they won the World Cup. So.
He'd be one of those players. I think you touched it before. Like a 5-a-side, 6-a-side player. It'd be so fun to play with.
Yeah, he just flicks around the corner. Oh, sick! Yeah, class player.
But I also thought Hernandez was very impressive. Whenever I watch this guy, I'm like, how quick are you in a race? I'd like a nice race between both fullbacks actually, Davis and Hernandez, because they've both got wheels. He
doesn't get as much hype because maybe Milan haven't really they're an up and coming team.
Yeah, like they won the league last season, but they haven't been doing it Champions League stage like Davies.
But he is like well appreciated by people who actually watch football.
I think the World Cup will be an eye opener for people.
Yeah.
He will be starting at left back. I see for France.
He's an absolute he's on top 3 or top 5 best left backs in the world for sure, 100%. It's another one where...
And that goal, the Giroud goal, he did it like several times in that half where he'd get to that byline through his own runs and then just those cutbacks just drilled along the floor. He just seemed really
got that shift to the left super fast, beats the man and whip in him for sure. And he's good he's strong physical. He's got all the attributes for the top left back, to be fair.
Yeah. God, we're talking about a lot of Serie A, but I was going to say Mourinho got sent off. Because of course he did.
Yeah, I saw that actually. I watched that this morning.
I didn't watch the game. I just heard Mourinho's been sent off. I was like, oh right.
He just went way too far onto the pitch and started slagging the ref off, and the ref was like, "Not of any of this, bosh your goal." It's just classic Mourinho. He's
Can they win it? I think you couldn't. I don't know. All these teams, Roma, you probably say probably not, but Dybala, Tammy,
they just need top 4. Honestly, I feel they're desperate for the top 4.
Maybe Juve won't get top 4, and those teams will.
We haven't mentioned Inter Milan. They're in the mix.
They don't seem as good.
They're having a bit of struggle. Inzaghi's not quite doing it.
But there's a lot of similar-ish standard teams that in Serie A. It's kind of similar to the Prem without that absolute
if you took away City,
yeah.
It's the place to go for FM. Honestly, best league to play in.
You always love bringing up FM or FIFA.
FM's on PS5, I think, this year.
Yeah,
is it?
Some consoles. It's the first time, yeah.
But it's minimal. It's like reduced. It's not the full get into database.
Yeah,
right. Okay.
But yeah,
we'll switch back to the Prem. But the Spuds, they hammered Leicester.
Sonny boy.
Yeah.
Son, who didn't really had a slow start to the season, took that benching personally.
Yeah.
Came on, bagged a hat-trick.
But does it count?
Does it count against Ward?
Yeah, does it count against Ward? Yeah.
Good question.
I'm one of the shittest goalkeepers you've ever seen, and I don't think Ward's much better than me.
It's so bad. It's like the classics of when they take a still image of the guy just about to shoot, and there's space in every corner of the net. It's like, how does he not cover any part of the goal?
There was one bit where I swear he was like literally almost the edge of the box, and obviously it's like such easy to score. Like, why is he so far off his line? You know what I mean? It's one of them where every shot just looks like it's going in.
Well, yeah, he's got the lowest save percentage in the league. I think it's roughly half the shots that he faces on target go in. It's about 45% save percentage.
He dives like it looks like he sort of gets there, but like he just doesn't get there. You know what I mean?
It's like he doesn't know he can dive.
Yeah.
It's like he doesn't know he's supposed to save them.
Yeah, he goes, oh, I've dived a bit late. Oh, no, dear.
Yeah, he is. I mean, and somehow he'll be starting in 2 weeks.
Well, surely they need to give Iverson a go. Like, surely Iverson can't be worse
How
than
bad
Ward.
must Iverson be?
I know.
If Brendan is looking at that and he's like, "You're my man," how bad is Iverson? I want to see some Iverson now.
Yeah, I mean,
I feel like everyone playing Leicester for the rest of the season is just going to be going, shoot.
Well, I think it's the worst goals against record ever after 7 games in the league, ever. I mean, that's bad.
He does look like a clown in net, let's be honest.
Do you know how I really feel with the Leicester thing? I feel for Madders.
Oh, yeah.
He's too good for that side.
Way too good.
But you actually look at Leicester's team, it's like, it's a bit aging, it's a bit old, but like they don't actually have that many bad players.
They're on 1 point after 7, right?
Yeah.
That squad is better than that.
Yeah.
For sure.
Like Brendan, who I don't think is an awful manager by any means, but I do feel like it's quite clearly at a point where I'm surprised he's still here, as we're speaking now anyway.
Yeah.
We've been saying he's getting sacked every time this comes out. I'm going again. Double or nothing.
Yeah. International break, perfect time, surely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've
No,
got really
agreed.
good, easy
What
fixtures
does
as well.
Hennis think? He's a Leicester fan, we know.
Yeah.
Is he Brendan out?
I
Because they got
think-
the FA Cup, but it's like...
I think at this point, yeah.
Yeah.
I think something has to change.
Yeah.
And
that squad is too good to be as bad as they are.
because Brendan's trying different things. He's trying Vardy in the team, not
Daka,
Vardy in the team.
Iheanacho, yeah.
Maddison wide and a 10, 5 at the back. He's doing all these things and none of it's working. So I think it might be time
Comes
to
to a point.
pull the trigger and go for someone else. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they've got international break and easy runner fixtures as well coming up.
Yeah.
So it's the time. It's now or never really to take that risk.
I feel for Madders, not just in that sense as well. He's not in the England squad. I mean, I don't know
Yeah.
how.
Yeah. Southgate just hates him, doesn't he?
What is his thing against Madders? What has he got?
Well, there was
Attitude.
that thing that he did, wasn't it, when he pulled out.
But we say about
ill.
attitude, but he's always up for it, even when Leicester are shit.
Yeah, but I think he's got a bit of an arrogance and.
There was that
party
thing when he said he
attitude.
was ill and he couldn't play, and then the next day
Right.
he was seen in a casino at like 2 a.m.
Bit of a Barkley move.
Yeah, it's something like that, and I mean that's not a great look.
I think he'd be a really good person to have on the plane. To be fair,
Yeah.
good option to have. I
mean-
think Madders is so good.
And if Southgate's going to pick players on form like he says he is, when he's clearly not, he's
No,
picked
we know
Maguire.
that's not fair,
Yeah.
Then Madison would have to be there, but like we
Yeah,
say,
Maguire over Ben White. What are your thoughts on
Yeah.
that one?
Well, I think Ben,
that's just a joke.
you know what with Ben
That's a
White,
joke.
it's one of those where I think not until you watch him week in week out do you really appreciate how good he is. He's actually
he is a good player, yeah.
But he's like like he's playing right back, not even his normal position, but he's pushing Tomiyasu out of the team, who's also an unbelievable good player, right foot, left foot player.
you
that-
think Southgate would be more happy with that? He loves a right back.
well, that's what I was going to say. Do you think that's working to his detriment in that we've got so many right backs that
Because they're quite open to playing 3. So
Yeah.
I mean, right of a 3, it would suit Ben White to an
Yeah.
absolute T. I think he played there at Brighton and stuff, or left of a 3
Yeah.
when you know
he's good on the ball. So.
when you got
Yeah.
Maguire there, he'd be perfect. For
Defensively, he's
left of the 3.
good. He gives you 100%. You know, I think maybe aerially a little bit of weakness there, but I think
was Mings
overall,
picked.
Yep.
yeah.
I think that's all we need to say. about
Yeah,
that
yeah,
one.
I know. Case closed. Yeah.
Yeah, but Spurs they did very well. I mean, they came from behind initially, fought back. Indeed, he helped them in that start of that second half. Obviously, giving away that goal for Bentancur, but yeah, Sonny comes on, gets a hat trick. It's quite Son though. I think that's almost how he plays in spells. Like he'll always end up on 20 Premier League goals, but he'll almost score in like 7 games.
Yeah,
he'll
and-
go on like a little run for 3 or 4 weeks where he gets 8.
It was the end of last season was his run,
Yeah.
doing that last season. But yeah, he seemed like majorly similar to the Grealish thing. He seemed super relieved to score. He stopped and he just
Floodgates opened.
Yeah, he just sort of took it all in. It's been a long time coming because as we've said, he has been crap to this point.
Yeah.
For him in the first 6
there's
games.
a reason Conte's dropped him. Obviously midweek they were poor
Yeah.
anyway, but he dropped him for a good reason. You don't drop Son because
Yeah.
he's his top player, but yeah.
And that
Charging for more.
the second goal just summed up Son perfectly, cutting in left foot, right
Mm.
foot. This time left foot. He scored a really similar goal against Leicester a couple of seasons ago.
Yeah.
Literally,
Scored quite a few
they
bangers
put them,
against Leicester, I saw,
they put
yeah.
them side by side. It was ridiculously similar. Yeah, he's just he's just class, 2-footed.
Yeah. They don't really count. It's like 1.5 goals because of Ward.
Yeah, true. And it's stat padding at 4-2-5-2. I mean,
Yeah,
come on.
it's not. It doesn't hit
Yeah.
the same.
Go
Does
score
it?
some crucial goals.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Go do it when
exactly.
it matters.
Yeah, win some points. Come on.
Yeah, cry in a minute. But another fixture actually yesterday, thrilling, was Everton West Ham. I was captivated by this beyond belief. It was probably game of the weekend in my eyes. I mean, the first half in particular was just riveting.
To be fair, it sort of summed up the many boring games we had this weekend.
Yeah, it did. It epitomised the weekend.
It was the cherry on the boring cake, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it was
really
like,
was.
oh my God, it was so bad. The quality, at least, but the only thing was, we'll speak briefly later on another game that was equally bad. I thought worse, but at least there was a bit of passion.
Yeah.
There was a bit of passion. At Goodison, you get a bit of a vibe for
that. Yeah, true.
That's what I feel with Everton. Like both those teams, they lacked massive amounts of energy, and I feel at least at Everton, with Goodison Park behind them, they're always going to have a bit more boost, or like, when momentum starts coming, the fans get so behind them, and it's just naturally you're going to want to fight for it.
They're not an easy place to go.
Yeah,
They're not a great team, but they're always tough.
Lampard was talking, he's like, we want to make ourselves tough to beat.
Yeah.
I feel it's funny.
Well, have you seen their defence? Their defence, I think, is joint best in the league in terms of goals per game conceded.
Yeah, you've got Cody and Tarkowski, and you go...
Lampard struggled with the defence, to be fair, with us. So they're clearly doing something right.
Yeah, it's kind of a rogue back, like it was two centre-backs.
They got a Loney as captain, which I find quite odd, like Cody as captain.
Yeah, it's a bit weird.
Yeah, but Cody in a 4 as well, kind of strange for him as well. He's doing well. They're both doing well as well, yeah.
Patterson I was impressed with. I thought he was good. And Iwobi in midfield is a bit of a Joe Linton, to be honest.
Yeah.
I feel like he's really found a resurgence in Iwobi as an 8. Like, he's bought him for 40 million. He looked crap, a bit like Joe Linton, 50 million.
No.
And they've just sort of gone, well, with Joe Linton, let's just shove him in midfield.
Very similar thing going on. But yeah, like when you get someone like Gray flashing the ball across the box, like even things like that, it's in reality it's shite, right?
But those fans love it.
Oh, they love it. They love it.
Yeah.
Like, and they
get a corner and they're cheering it like a goal.
Yeah. Because some really, really crappy
football,
blocked cross, and they go, yeah. And I can.
It's one of those places where if you concede first, you're like, well, fuck.
Yeah, and I can buy into that a bit. As a if I was an Everton fan, I could get behind that. But West Ham, they were shocking,
and have been now for a while with West Ham fan who's actually Moyes out. I think the last 35 games, 38 points, which is relegation form really, there or thereabouts.
They just seem to be playing the same team week in, week out.
They've got a good squad.
Yeah, they have a great squad, and they went in for like big plays this summer. They're supposed to push on.
Paqueta, Scamacca,
and
Cornet looks good when he come on, but Moyes seems to. I know he's been picking Paqueta, but he seems to stick with the ones he's already had.
Yeah, I feel like he's playing the same team week in, week out. And you're like, when are we getting Scamacca up front? Yeah, Antonio's providing nothing, really. He does nothing anymore. He's cooked. Get him off. Do so. But yeah, the squad's good. They're not doing... Yeah, I mean, another one who's definitely under pressure, Moyes. And
could it be a Moyes-Rodgers swap? There's part of it, it's like, maybe that works, because it's just sort of... Like, I wouldn't rule out Moyes or Rodgers having good spells elsewhere, but maybe you just need a refresh after a while. Squads get a bit tired of the same ideas.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe.
Manager swaps. I like the idea.
Yeah.
It'd be cool.
Trade managers. I'll trade your manager for mine.
Because I read that Leicester would have to pay Brendan 10 million to sack him. Because he's on.
That makes more sense.
Because he's on a lot of money. That's what I read anyway. But yeah, manager swap. Interesting idea.
Could be the future. But yeah, they seem a bit disgruntled, and rightfully so. They got a better squad than what they're doing. I feel like maybe that European run did mask it a bit, didn't it?
Yeah, it's one of those attacks where you're like, I just don't feel doing anything when they have the ball.
I also think it's because as they've got better, teams will play a lower block against West Ham, and players like Bowen just thrive with space in behind. Like, I don't mind Bowen as a player, but I remember when you saw it in the summer actually when England played. Who did we get smashed 4-0 by? Is it Hungary? And when he played in that, like, you don't get the same level of space in behind, and he's just nowhere near as effective. And I feel like as West Ham have got better, people have adjusted and they cope with them. And now West Ham, they look like the old West Ham in that they're threatening from corners. Yeah. There's not a lot else going on.
Where's Suchek getting corner goals?
He's really falling off.
What's happened to that guy?
Yeah.
I thought we had a Fellaini regen in a Moyes team.
Yeah, but he's just been
falling off the cliff.
For
even Deckers isn't looking...
Yeah, but I feel
sharp.
But
maybe he's lost a bit of motivation. Like,
I just feel like with him as well, like, what can he, there's positions where you can affect the game. If you can't score goals, he's not in the position where he's going to help affect the game to scoring goals. He's there.
No, he's not that guy anyway.
Yeah. I think he's doing his job perfectly fine. It's just the rest of the team, are, particularly going forward, are letting him down a bit.
Yeah, but he's definitely. I feel it kind of. Yeah, it was a very nice goal, but I do think on Deckers, I do feel like that means it's Kearns for him this spot in the summer or Jan. Probably
drive that price down. Well, to see how his World Cup goes, it might go back up, it might spike. But someone who might be interested in some World Cup purchases, some crazy ones, will be Newcastle, because they need to improve. We've been praising Newcastle, but they are 1 point ahead of Villa, who we slag off every week. They are 1 point ahead of Everton, And they should just be doing so much
They've
better.
only had
draw
one
to
win.
Bournemouth.
Only
They're
one win.
shite.
One win this season. And you know what's crazy? I was thinking that. I was looking at the team actually. I was like, if you're starting Willock and Fraser, you're not a great team.
It's losing that St. Max. I feel like since St. Max went, that was just after City game, the week after, Wolves, they played City and he played out of his skin, played Wolves, scored a brilliant goal, and then he got injured. And they've just sort of, and without Wilson as St. Max, it's a different level team. Obviously Isaac's added something, but
yeah, but I mean,
I just think I saw they got booed off at the end. I was like, wow. Like, considering how positive everyone is in general about Newcastle and what Eddie Howe's doing, it was just quite interesting that they have actually had a kind of under the radar start. They haven't had the best start considering how good they can be.
No, yeah, it was after the City game, wasn't it? We were all like, wow, like they've gone toe.
They were so impressive.
They've gone toe to toe with City. They're a proper team. But yeah, I think the St. Maximin one's that's absolutely killed them because he is quite injury prone. He doesn't get many.
Well, we know Wilson is as well.
Yeah, he doesn't get many starts at Maximin. But I think we rate Wilson, but I think Isaac looks an ample.
Yeah, he does look very good
replacement. But
I think Bruno's stepping up. I love a bit of Bruno. But yeah, they've just been a bit. Just Bournemouth sums it up. Can't be dropping points to Bournemouth. Not at home. Not at St James's.
I know. Yeah. They just need to start putting a bit of a run together. But I think they've got a set of easy fixtures now from memory. So I think they'll put some wins.
No
on the board.
easier fixture than
Bournemouth at home. True.
Yeah.
Very true.
Yeah, it's just surprising. It was just more when I saw the points. I was like, wow. Like, think how appreciated they are as a team compared to like some of the teams we've happily say crap in terms of like Villa, for example, who had another contest for a most thrilling match of the weekend.
that was dry.
That was, oh my God, Friday night football. And the other game was 3-2. I should have streamed it, or shouldn't have streamed it, but I should have streamed it.
Yeah, that Villa Southampton game was one of the worst games I've seen for many years.
Yeah,
it was that bad. They were just people were passing it off the pitch, like miscontrolling the ball. It was like, oh my God, like this is the quality on this pitch right now is terrible. And I can't remember what minute it was in, but they brought up a graphic in the bottom left, and it was like number of times possession lost, and there was a handful of players on sort of 13, 14. Top of the tree is after about 50 minutes. Leon Bailey lost possession 23 times.
Was appalling.
And he was one of the most transferred players in
FPL. But he was incredibly bad.
Yeah.
Like particularly first 15 minutes, he got the ball so much and lost the ball.
Carragher was losing his nut.
Yeah. He was incredibly bad because there's quite high hopes for him.
Yeah.
Just in general, because he's young guy, did well in the Bundesliga, but since he's come to the Prem, he's been so underwhelming. He's been like just a joke.
Well, I thought, last season I was like maybe a bit of benefit of the doubt with injuries because I remember he had a good cameo. I think it was against Everton. He had a very good cameo where he came on, got a goal and assist, and then got injured.
Yeah,
but that's all I've sort of seen of him the entire time.
And then he scored a good goal against City a few weeks ago. But then since then, it's just been
it was a big result for Stevie. It definitely relieved the pressure.
Yeah. I mean, it was the kind of game that they were going to win, as in scrappy game, nothing in it.
And Prince William, obviously, he's a Villa fan.
Yeah, so it was quite apt.
Yeah, it made sense.
Yeah.
Should have put a bet on it, to be honest. I didn't think that after the game.
But yeah, crappy set piece goal. That's the only way it was going to get separated. And Southampton didn't offer very much either. It was just a terrible, terrible game of football.
Yeah, it was. Forgotten in an instant. No classic there. But there was the 3-2 Fulham Forest.
Yeah.
Forest taking the lead, which looked promising. I thought they might get a result, to be honest, Forest. I'm waiting for them to click. And it's starting to feel like, their counterparts, they're Fulham. They actually look like Fulham from 2 years ago, where they brought in 20, 30 players. And it's just... it might be a bit of a long season for them.
I just feel with Forest, the way they play, it's like they try and outscore their opponents, but it's very, very hard to do in the Premier League. Yeah. They're getting goals, they're just leaking massively. Yeah. And I just, I think they're an entertaining team to watch. And we watched them against the Spurs game, and it was like, they can actually challenge. They can, they go toe to toe with you. But if you're going to concede that many goals each game, you're not going to win.
Well, your games like in the last 2 weeks, they've played Fulham and Bournemouth at home. Those are your games you have to win if you're one of those teams. Like, they're your teams in and around you. I know Fulham we've been impressive and we don't think they're going to go down, but those kind of games are the ones that they're your 3 point. You need to be getting points out of that. So losing both is tough. It's not looking good.
6 goals against across the 2 games. It's not good.
No, but Fulham were very good, and they did it without Mitro. Well, I mean, he played, but he didn't score any of the goals, which is equally impressive. Palhinha's really catching the eye, isn't he?
Yeah, he scored an absolute banger.
Yeah,
absolute worldie. He's definitely one where in a couple of years he could get poached.
It's quite an amazing signing really for Fulham, considering he was recent Euros starting for Portugal.
Yeah,
and looking one of the best midfielders they had.
Yeah, quite a hot property in Europe. I think Marco Silva said, speaking of that, he said it's good to get a bit of a spread of the goals because they can't be
They
relying
can't just
on.
have Mitro,
They can't have Mitro. He's not going to get 40 again, obviously. So you need a bit of a spread of goals if they're going to sort of thrive in the Prem. And I think they were. They're doing well. I don't know how many points they're on, but they're comfortably sort of mid to highish mid-table.
Yeah, they're doing well. I think they're 1 point behind us. So
Yeah, exactly.
not too bad.
But yeah,
Or 1 point. No, 1 point ahead of us. I think.
well, there you go.
Yeah.
You got a game in hand though.
Yeah, but we'll let them have their moment. They don't get many.
But for Forest, I think, like we said, it's just bedding in those players. We said in the first week, I think it's 23 new players, and players that have Prem experience, some that don't. It's going to be really, really difficult for them.
International breaks in quite important time now. It feels like for them
to get the gel. You know what's
because
interesting?
if it doesn't click soon, we know they're going to be knocking on Big Sam and Dyche's door at some point. As good as Steve Cooper is, there will come a point where if a chairman's backed you to that point.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
Up.
This time, as the game played, it was a year ago from that moment where Nottingham Forest were bottom of the league championship and Chris Hume got sacked. So it was kind of a credit to what a great job the current manager's doing. And
Sexy Steve.
Sexy Steve, yeah. He's doing, but it would be interesting to see how much they will stick with him. Yeah. And if it is just because I like his ideas.
I agree with you. I just think when you're back to that point, they're going to be worried if they look like they're going to go down. I think they will just be like, oh, fuck it, bring in the Dyche, bring in.
Well, and the that Greek chairman at Forest is an absolute nutcase as well. So he would be not reluctant at all to pull the trigger.
No, someone they should have signed though. Willian got assist. With a corner that didn't hit the first man.
Yeah, I was surprised.
I was shocked to see it. I was like, Willian Ball back in my life makes me happy. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I was going to say, what's your kind of overriding feeling?
This season, I'm not really enjoying my club at the moment, but I'm like, oh wow, Willian and Costa in the league. This is fun. This is fun.
Yeah,
I get to watch these guys again. I mean, they look a bit bigger and they look a bit slower, but they're still doing their thing.
They're vibing.
I saw Willian do his
little leg. I find it remarkable though that I'm thinking like Willian, like 3 or 4 years ago, I was looking at this guy going, he's so cooked. He's done. And he's still playing Premier League football. It's just
starting in the Prem. Yeah. Fair play.
He did his little leg shimmy thing.
I love it. The Willian signature.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, he's still got it. He's still got a bit of bad. I'm so excited to see Costa though. God knows what he's going to be like. Yeah, well, they're trying to get him match fit right now. He must be so cooked, honestly.
Yeah,
he's probably going to shave about 10 kg off.
I saw him with the Wolves.
I was about to say, did you see his signing video?
Yeah.
He said he was like shitting himself.
Yeah, he said he was like, oh, fucking hell, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
But I saw as well Wolves were rinsing it. Clearly, it cost them a fair bit to rent these Wolves because they did another picture with the Wolves on the pitch. Just like someone quoted it, being like, "Just use the Wolves." Like we need some media. Use them.
Yeah, stick them up front.
But yeah. But I saw as well he did an interview about when he told Shawcross his breath stank as well.
I didn't see that.
He said Shawcross owes me because I got him a sponsorship with some deodorant company apparently. Apparently for a year he got like free deodorant for a year.
Because he called him stinky.
Yeah. But legend of the game. So I'm very excited. Both of them I'm very happy to see here. They're not, Costa I never got to a point where I wanted him out of the club, but Willian certainly there was a point where I was tired of watching Willian, so it's nice to see someone else have him. It's like when you guys had him, I was like, this is nice.
He's definitely scoring against us, for sure.
Probably us as well, to be honest. He'll probably have his Ronaldinho moments against us, and then that'll be it.
I don't think he's the kind that would celebrate, though.
Against you?
Yeah. I don't think he would.
Nah.
I don't think he would against
either.
Actually,
no, Willian's a nice guy. He probably wouldn't.
He cut his own contract short, so he didn't have to pay him out. He seems like a good guy.
No, Willian's top bloke. Lovely guy. Hang out all the time with Willie.
Yeah, he seems like a top bloke. Big Willie.
Yeah. Big Willie. Him and Caballero at the club was a weird time. But, we have our recurring segment.
Fast from the fast.
Are you prepared? I didn't know if you were prepared or not.
I'm prepared.
Forgot to ask. I assumed you had. We've covered all the football from this week, so we're going to be moving to that. Blast from the past with no fucking jingle. There's no jingle. We've got rid of the jingle. It's gone.
No,
it's gone.
No,
don't you dare.
So
right, who have we got?
I was thinking, I was like, okay, who do I want to bring in? What I'm thinking, the classic, you go through a range of players. You want a bad player, you want a good player. But I did this guy because when I was a kid, I really, really wanted him to join the Prem. And there was one rumour that he was linked to Arsenal, and that classic. It was Match of the Day magazine. I got so excited.
The most reliable sources.
Yeah. They would really like stretch him, right?
Was it Match Mag with the little cartoon?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I was properly and I just was getting super excited. And I thought he was one of those players. He was one of those players who I think in the future people will forget because
We're doing a lot of foreplay for this player.
Yeah, well, you got to build him up.
Yeah,
you know?
okay.
I think people are going to fit because of the play. Like he maybe saw as the back end of his career didn't have that sort of like blossom or like Benzema or Ronaldo, Messi. But the play is David Villa.
Ah, okay.
Nice.
I think his best patch was definitely at Valencia, and like at Valencia there was
a bit Barca.
Yeah, there was a bit of Barca for sure, but his actual stats of Barca, like goals to game ratio, wasn't as strong as compared to his Valencia record. But I think, and what actually his dominance was also for the Spanish international team. That's where he got 59 goals in 98 games, which is he's a Spanish all-time top goal scorer as well. Like he was an absolute baller. World Cup, the year they won it, 2010.
We kept Torres at the side.
Yeah, he was equal top goal scorer for that World Cup, and the one they won it. So he's he was. I think for me, he was a real proper player. And like when I remember when he was one of those ones who stayed at Valencia for maybe too long. Everyone was like, when is he going? There was links of Liverpool, there was links of Arsenal. There was obviously other better teams as well. He was constantly linked. Went to Barcelona, got his Champions League, one of the most memorable goals. He was a bit of a finesse merchant, wasn't he? He loved a bit of a finesse.
He shifted more from that like up top for Valencia to the left side.
Yeah.
He took over Henry's position basically at Barca, didn't he?
Yeah, he went played. Yeah, I think he's played 98 games in his career at a left wing. I saw doing my research. But yeah, the way that goal against United, the way he just like bent it, like he just took a touch, like and then just bent it beautifully around Van der Sar. It's such a nice goal, but. One of those players, I think, you think about 10, 15 years' time, I don't think he's going to get spoken about as much because even though he's got 300, I think it's like 368 goals in his career.
Might be to do with those allegations as well.
Yeah,
I think he's facing a number of...
what were they?
Yeah, I've not heard any allegations.
Right, a number of sort of sexual harassment allegations in America because he's been out in America in recent years.
Oh, yeah.
But, we look past Suarez's racism. We can talk about him as a player.
Well, I haven't heard
about his on the pitch antics.
On the pitch antics, yeah. That might be why he's forgotten about. But
also, I was surprised over 100 games in MLS. Most people when they go MLS, it's sort of back in their career, but 117 games in MLS, and he had an unsuccessful stint as well. I'd say Atletico Madrid.
We won the league.
Yeah, but
he did score goals. He scored against Barca as well.
But it was
Costa was the one tearing out. But
he wasn't. It was
a bit of a Suarez.
But like a sub part. It wasn't like he didn't. If he was really that good, they would have kept him on. But he sort of disappeared quite quickly. But I just think like in his prime, he was one of those players. I wanted to see him in the Prem for sure. I mean,
he was a cool player. I remember when we played Valencia 2 years in a row in Champions League when it was that like David Silva. Him and Canizares and all those kind of players. He was
Mata there as well, I know.
Yeah, Mata was just sort of coming through, but yeah, he was class. He was so electric, just playing on the last line, getting in behind, good finisher. And like you said, Euro 2008 you saw him a bit, but yeah, World Cup 2010 was his. Like keeping Torres at the side as well at that time was impressive in itself. And then at Barca, just picking up on that left wing, top player. Finesse merchant is a good way of putting it. To be fair, I can't remember him scoring. So many of those goals were from that side, just curling it.
Yeah, the game that I think of is the 5-0 against Real Madrid in 2010.
Yeah,
I think he scored 2 in that game, playing on the shoulder inside left. Because when I think of Villa, I do just obviously naturally think of the Pedro Messi Villa front three. Yeah. I just think of that game. He's playing on the shoulder, and he had a bit of like Inzaghi about him when he was in behind. He was a bit sort of different, not just a pure poacher, a bit of a different player. But when he was in behind, you just had
sort of play anywhere on the front line.
Yeah,
really,
you had full confidence that he was going to stick it in the back of the net. One thing you said one thing that came immediately to my mind is I remember this one piece of skill he did for Valencia. It was on Showboat on Soccer AM.
Right.
It was about 2008, and that skill on FIFA, heel to heel, when they go like he did that through someone's legs. I mean, this is like. I was probably 11, 12 years old watching this. I was like, oh my God, this guy's amazing. And that one thing has just stuck in my brain for almost 15 years now. So I always had a bit of a perception of him. And then when he kind of moved to Barcelona, you got to see him on a more regular basis. Because we were talking about this yesterday, weren't we? I used to,
Sunday evenings.
Yeah.
Sunday evenings with Gillan Balogun, Graham Hunter as well.
Yeah, exactly. I used to watch like loads of Barcelona in that time. So he's a player that I actually watched a lot of, and
Scott Minto.
He was just class. Yeah, Scott Minto. Obviously Big Graham. Terry Gibson. Yeah, no, he was just a really, really good player. And yeah, probably, like you say, will be underappreciated in years to come for whatever reason. I'm not.
Oh, I think also
well, at least he'll have that like that. Well, I don't know about you guys. I look at 2011 Barca as the best one rather than 2009.
Yeah,
And I think of Villa in that team, like you said, the Wembley game.
Yeah,
and he'll always have that at least. That was.
But like in that team, like when you have Messi, it was just so overpowering.
Well, you think of Messi, Xavi, Iniesta. Like there's so many names that come to the forefront. He's like you said, a bit more on the periphery.
Yeah, exactly.
But Spanish people won't forget him. Put it that way.
No, he sort of carried them through that 2010 World Cup. They won. I think they beat.
That was probably the most underwhelming tournament in terms of performance. Like they were still good, but they weren't. Group stage wasn't great. I think they lost. Who did they lose to?
Switzerland. Yeah.
Even the final itself was a tight game.
Yeah, but he kind of, I think they won a couple of games 1-0. I think Portugal and someone else, Paraguay or someone like that, and I think he scored both of those goals, and he was just sort of there in that tournament particularly. I know Iniesta won player of the tournament, I think. Did he? Sorry, Forlan won player of the tournament.
Forlan was. I don't know what Forlan was on for that tournament.
Yeah, he was amazing, wasn't he? It was that combo of him and the Jabulani was just amazing. It was like,
name a better duo.
Yeah, it was like skulls in that tree. Forlan and the Jabulani, and then Iniesta and Xavi. But yeah, he was kind of the talisman for that tournament for them. He carried them through a lot of games. And yeah, it's interesting to know that he's the top ever scoring Spanish player.
That goal, 59-98 is pretty outrageous record.
Yeah,
I'm surprised Raul's not.
No,
that's my head. I would have thought, but I suppose he went so
deep
deep in the competitions that it makes
sense. That's when Spain were good when
Spain
were good, so it kind of makes sense.
And they were very good.
Yeah, they were an amazing team.
They were the best national side I've seen.
Yeah, they were 80% possession against any team in the world.
Well, they were basically like Barca Real minus Messi, Ronaldo, and just shoved together.
Yeah, it was the Euro 2012 was the one, wasn't it? It was like, oh my god,
final,
they were just. It was
you couldn't beat him.
Cesc in a false nine. Oh man, it was so good.
It was
that
liquid.
team.
It really was liquid.
Yeah.
Even those 2008 sides with like Marcos Senna.
Oh, what he was a Capdevila.
Yeah.
Capdevila.
Yeah,
but like it was weird to seeing like Piqué and Ramos sort of teaming up.
Yeah,
it was like seeing a crossover film.
Yeah,
it was really strange.
They like each other. They hate each other. It's kind of funny.
Yeah,
they like bitch about each other, but they kind of rate each other as well. It's kind of weird.
It's like even Euro 2012. Like we all think of England fans in particular to imagine like Pirlo's dink against Hart where he took him down. But I remember Ramos dinking it as well. Against Portugal, I think.
Yeah,
I think they knocked them out on pens.
He loved the chip penalty.
Because Ronaldo waited to take the fifth.
Yeah, that was a classic.
Because he wanted it to be all about him.
And he never took it.
And he didn't get to take it.
Yeah,
that's a classic. That's happened a couple of times for Ronaldo.
Cesc scored the winner, didn't he? That was when Fabregas was scoring like crucial pens for Spain in shootouts and stuff.
Yeah, I remember Torres stat padded that golden boot so well.
Yeah, because I think he came on in the final.
He scored a goal against Ireland, and then
he came on in the final, got goal and assist, and then he won it because he'd played fewer minutes or something because he was coming off the bench. It was so dumb. Yeah, what a team and what a player, Villa. What a player.
Yeah, he was awesome. It was a great shout. Really enjoyed that. It's a good blast from the past. That hopefully these allegations prove to be false.
Yeah,
didn't hear about that. To be fair,
have you got a related poll? Or no, you've not thought about that.
No, to be fair, usually I think of the poll afterwards, but I haven't thought of a related poll. If anyone's got,
let's have a think. So, okay, who was better in their prime? Let's take David Villa in and around there, that kind of Valencia Barca time,
9 to 11.
Liverpool and Atletico Torres.
Yeah.
Because it certainly wasn't with us. We did not get prime Torres.
They got stinky Torres.
Yeah.
Villa or Torres? I think that's quite.
That's a
good question.
At the time, you would kind of look at it and you'd be like, "Oh my god, Torres isn't starting," and you'd see him in the Premier League tearing it up. So it was quite odd.
I feel like people have had that conversation quite a lot. I'm saying it's a good question, but like it's a tight one.
Different kinds of strikers.
Yeah,
aren't
exactly.
They?
It's a tight one.
I like. There's two players who, in their prime, I absolutely loved.
Same.
You're like.
I like Torres even at Liverpool, and you know how much I hate them.
Yeah. He was a proper. He was similar sort of in terms of like finishing. Torres liked a nice little finesse as well. He's placed shot.
Torres was awkward.
Yeah,
he was a bit of a.
He was a weird finish. He was
quick as well, like
quick.
Blonde hair, Torres, good looking guy.
He had blonde hair,
and he wore those yellow lasers. They were class
yellow
boots.
Black lasers. They were good.
Class boots.
They were very good. Yeah, he was lethal, to be honest, for a little bit, and then God knows what happened. Injuries and.
He just fell off. It was like Space Jam, just took his talent away.
Literally.
Weird.
It was sad. I still got a Torres shirt, so good stuff. But we'll wrap it there. That was a great blast from the past. Good episode. It definitely was a very good episode.
It was a better episode than it was Premier League weekend.
Easily. I'd have watched however many games worth of this podcast it was compared to the amount of games that were on.
100%.
Terrible. Spuds was goals, but it wasn't good.
Yeah. And no one likes seeing Spurs score, let's be honest.
And ward tax.
Yeah, exactly. That's probably a 3-2 game.
Yeah, at push.
Yeah, at push.
So 0-0, really.
I know. Spurs have robbed 3 points there.
Yeah, right. We'll see you next week. Make sure to follow us on TikTok at TikiTalk Podcast, and all the other handles are below. So subscribe, turn those bells on. You turn those fucking bells on. Do that now.
So you never miss an upload.
Yeah, don't miss an upload. You want to get those bells on. And then get on the poll as well. Torres or Villa. We'll see you guys next week during the international break. So it'll be another boring weekend of football.
But another great podcast.
But the podcast will smash it, so that's all good.
Are we moving on to England chat? Is that it? Or we just
looks like next week.
World Cup England chat. Ooh.
Yeah.
All right,
Interesting. Coming home.
All right, bye.
In a bit.